Everyone thinks Blake Lively got lucky. One show, one role, and boom, fame overnight. But that's not the full story. Most people don't see the chaos behind the cameras. The endless auditions, the rejections, the pressure to fit Hollywood's mold. Blake, she didn't just roll with it. She studied the game. She learned the rules. She waited for the right roles. She made bold moves when no one was watching. There were times she could have quit. Times Hollywood tried to typecast her. Times gossip magazines tried to define her life. But she didn't play by their rules. She played by hers. Smart, strategic, patient, calculated. Before anyone really noticed, Blake was quietly building her foundation. She avoided mistakes that destroy young careers. She observed. She learned. She adapted. Every audition, every rejection, every tiny success became part of her strategy. And her fashion, her interviews, even the way she smiled in public, they all told a story of someone who thought 10 steps ahead, who knew timing matters. And here's the thing, her rise wasn't random. It was deliberate, careful, and impressive. Stick around. Once you see the choices she made, you'll realize Blake Lively's rise. Way more strategic, way more calculated, and way more intentional than most people imagine. This isn't a story of luck. It's a story of patience, smart moves, and knowing exactly when to step forward. From quiet beginnings to red carpet statements, Blake's journey shows that true success is built, not stumbled upon. And today, we'll dive deep into every phase. Her early life, her breakout, her career choices, her personal life, and the lessons she's left for aspiring actors. Everyone thinks Blake Lively got lucky. One show, one role, and boom, fame overnight. But that's not the full story. Most people don't see the chaos behind the cameras, the endless auditions, the rejections, the pressure to fit Hollywood's mold. Blake, she didn't just roll with it. She didn't just roll with it. She studied the game. She watched, she listened, and she learned. She waited for the right roles. She made bold moves when no one was watching. There were times she could have quit. Times Hollywood tried to typecast her. Times gossip magazines tried to define her life. But she didn't play by their rules. She played by hers. Smart, strategic, patient. And here's the thing. She did it all before anyone really noticed. She avoided mistakes that ruin young careers. She learned fast, took risks quietly, and stayed one step ahead. Her fashion, her roles, even her interviews, they all tell a story. Each choice she made wasn't random. It was deliberate, calculated, and the truth, her rise was way more strategic than anyone ever imagined. Stick around, because once you see the choices she made, you'll realize Blake Lively's rise? Way more intentional, way more impressive, and way more inspiring than most people think. From the outside, Hollywood fame looks instant, but Blake's journey tells a different story. Behind every red carpet photo, behind every magazine cover, was a young woman quietly learning, quietly observing, quietly planning. She learned that fame could be dangerous if mishandled. She also learned that it could be powerful if used wisely. Even before she hit the screens, Blake was thinking long-term. While her peers chased every audition, she studied scripts, analysed characters, and refined her craft. She understood one thing early. Hollywood rewards strategy, not luck. Not just talent, strategy, timing, presence. Auditions weren't just opportunities. They were lessons. Rejections weren't failures. They were feedback. She kept track of what worked and what didn't. She noticed how directors interacted with actors, how co-stars carried themselves, how cameras framed performances. Every small detail mattered. Blake's patience became her secret weapon. While other young actors rushed into roles desperate for fame, she observed, absorbed and waited. She wanted longevity. She wanted respect. She wanted to become a household name for the right reasons, not because of scandal, gossip, or fleeting attention. And when her moment came, she was ready. The world saw Serena van der Woodsen in Gossip Girl, but Blake had already spent years building the foundation to play her. Every nuance in her performance came from experience, from observation, from deliberate practice. Even her personal style became part of her strategy. Fashion wasn't just about looking good. It was about sending a message. Blake wanted people to notice, yes, but also to respect her choices. She blended glamour with intelligence, boldness with subtlety. Her appearances became stories themselves. Red carpets weren't just events, they were statements. The media tried to catch her off guard. Rumours, gossip, speculation. But Blake had learned early, respond too much, and you lose control. She let her work speak. She let her choices shine. She stayed mysterious enough to keep people intrigued, but clear enough to stay respected. By the time Gossip Girl made her a teen sensation, Blake wasn't just a pretty face. She was prepared. She understood the politics of Hollywood. She understood timing, influence, and narrative control. She could navigate attention and criticism without losing focus. That rare combination of skill and strategy set her apart from peers. Her early career choices weren't glamorous. They weren't big headlines. They were quiet, deliberate moves. Classes, small roles, auditions, observing, learning. But those small steps became the ladder she climbed to fame. And the fascinating part, most people didn't notice the ladder existed. They only saw the top. Even today, when we look at Blake Lively's career, it's easy to think it was effortless. But the truth is far from it. Every public success is built on years of preparation, reflection, and patience. Every red carpet smile is backed by calculated awareness. Every film choice reflects careful strategy. Every public interaction is a lesson in measured exposure. Blake Lively understood something early in life that many actors never do. Fame is a tool, not a trophy. It can amplify talent, influence, and opportunity, but only if you control it. She didn't just chase roles. She built a brand. She cultivated a presence. She learned the business side of Hollywood while others were busy chasing stardom. And the result? A rise that looks seamless, but in reality was deliberate, careful, and strategic. She avoided common pitfalls. She made smart choices that other young actors overlooked. She became headline news without needing scandal. She became iconic without needing shortcuts. Her journey reminds us that true success is rarely instant. It's calculated. It's patient. It's built on observation, resilience, and smart decision-making. And Blake Lively, she mastered that art early. She took control of her story before anyone else could define it. By the time the cameras were finally pointing at her, she wasn't just ready to act. She was ready to lead, ready to influence, ready to set trends, not just follow them. Every look, every role, every interview became part of a broader narrative she was constructing quietly, thoughtfully, and brilliantly. Blake Lively was born in Los Angeles, California, the heart of the entertainment world. Acting was almost in her blood. Both of her parents worked in the industry. Her father, Ernie Lively, was a respected actor and acting coach. Her mother, Elaine, was a talent scout. Growing up in that environment, Blake saw the inner workings of Hollywood from an early age. She wasn't shielded from reality, and she wasn't promised fame. That made all the difference. Dinner conversations often turned into lessons, not the usual "how was your day" kind of talk. These were discussions about character motivations, scene analysis, the subtleties of dialogue delivery, and the realities of the business. Blake learned to observe, to listen, to analyse. Her parents didn't push her into acting. Instead, they taught her how to understand it, how to respect it, and how to navigate it. That mindset would later become one of her greatest advantages. Blake's curiosity about acting wasn't about being famous. It was about understanding the craft. She started taking acting classes at a young age, not for attention, but for learning. She wanted to know why some performances moved audiences while others fell flat. She wanted to understand timing, expression, and the subtle cues that make a character believable. She studied before performing. Observation came before action. That became her habit. Her first auditions began in her early teens. Small roles, minor television appearances. She didn't land anything big right away. Some auditions ended in polite rejections. Others simply ended in silence. For many teenagers, that could be crushing. But Blake learned early that rejection wasn't failure. It was feedback. It was a chance to adjust, improve, and grow. Every no became fuel for the next yes. Hollywood looked glamorous on the outside, but the inside was chaotic. Competition was intense. Pressure was constant. Every audition felt like a judgment, not just on talent, but on looks, personality, and marketability. Blake faced that pressure early. Directors and casting agents tried to define her. She was too youthful for some roles, but too serious for others. But she refused to be boxed in. She waited for the roles that felt right, that matched her instincts. Timing mattered more than speed, and she understood that better than most. Her first significant role came with the small film Sandman. It wasn't a blockbuster, not even widely known. But it was a critical training ground. Blake learned to memorize lines quickly, to take direction without letting ego get in the way, to observe co-stars and absorb their techniques. Every set, every scene, every small interaction became a lesson in professionalism and preparation. Even as a teenager, Blake's approach was strategic. While others rushed, she observed. While others chased immediate fame, she built skills. While others worried about being noticed, she focused on understanding the mechanics of acting and the business behind it. She knew that true success required preparation long before opportunity knocked. By the time she auditioned for Gossip Girl, Blake had years of practice behind the scenes. She had learned how to handle rejection, how to navigate Hollywood politics, how to read a director, a co-star, or a casting agent. Those years of preparation weren't flashy, they weren't glamorous, but they were essential. Without them, she wouldn't have been ready for the spotlight that would soon shine so brightly. Her early life wasn't a straight path. It was filled with small victories and silent lessons. Every no became a step forward. Every rejection honed her resilience. She learned that patience was power, learning before performing, observing before acting, thinking before choosing a role. These principles became the foundation of her career. When the world finally noticed her, Blake wasn't just a teenager with good looks. She was a trained, thoughtful, and strategic actress. Skills, patience, and confidence set her apart. That foundation allowed her to turn early fame into a long-term career. She navigated Hollywood on her own terms and survived where many others faltered. Even at that age, Blake demonstrated a rare understanding. The industry could be ruthless, but it rewarded those who were prepared. She watched other actors make mistakes and learned from them. She understood timing, observation, and the value of keeping some things private. She wasn't just learning to act, she was learning to build a sustainable career. Her story proves an important lesson. Preparation precedes opportunity. Every small audition, every acting class, every observation from dinner conversations with her parents, all of it added up. She understood that Hollywood moves fast. One hit TV show wasn't enough to build a lasting career. She needed films that would showcase her range, versatility, and depth as an actress. Her first significant film role came with The Sisterhood of the Travelling Pants. It was a smaller film, but it allowed her to display charm, relatability, and emotional depth. Fans responded positively, and critics noticed her ability to bring authenticity to youthful characters. Next came The Town, starring alongside Ben Affleck. It was a serious crime drama, far removed from the glamorous world of TV teen drama. Blake's performance proved she could handle tension, drama, and complex characters. She held her own against established Hollywood actors. Critics began to take her seriously. Audiences saw a different side of her, a talented actress capable of more than just teenage heartthrob roles. Blake didn't choose roles randomly. Every script, co-star, director, and story was considered carefully. Each project became a calculated step toward long-term career growth. Even films that seemed glamorous or light-hearted on the surface had purpose. They contributed to her versatility and visibility. She learned from every success and setback, building resilience along the way. Box office hits and misses both provided lessons. Green Lantern, while controversial and receiving mixed reviews, didn't damage her reputation. Critics praised her performance, and audiences appreciated her charisma and screen presence. Every experience, success or failure, added to her understanding of Hollywood, shaping her into a well-rounded, strategic actress. Awards and nominations followed. Teen Choice Awards reflected her popularity among younger audiences, while fashion magazines like Elle highlighted her style and influence. Even without winning every award, the recognition reinforced her credibility. Slowly but surely, she transitioned from TV star to Hollywood film actress, all on her own terms. Public appearances amplified her influence. Red carpet events became opportunities, not just for glamour, but for making a statement. Fashion became a communication tool, a way to express confidence, taste, and individuality. Fans admired her elegance and poise. Each appearance was a lesson in subtle personal branding, setting her apart from peers. Behind the scenes, Blake remained grounded. Co-stars describe her as professional, punctual, and highly observant. Directors trusted her instincts, often relying on her input when shaping scenes. Talent combined with strategy is rare in Hollywood, but Blake had it in spades. She didn't just act, she analysed, learned, and adapted. Blake understood the power of fan engagement. She interacted thoughtfully, balancing privacy with connection. Fans felt close to her, yet her calculated discretion kept them curious. This approach cultivated loyalty and admiration, an essential asset in the fast-paced entertainment world. Over time, Blake Lively's career became a series of cumulative milestones. Memorable performances across genres, successful films, viral fashion moments, awards, nominations, media recognition, and a growing fan base, all built toward long-term influence. Each achievement was not just a moment of fame, but a strategic step in shaping a sustainable Hollywood career. By the mid-2010s, Blake was no longer just Gossip Girl. She had become a multifaceted Hollywood figure, a talented actress, a fashion icon, and a brand in herself. Her achievements weren't luck. They were the result of calculated decisions, strategic planning, and relentless observation. Her story during this period illustrates a critical lesson. Success isn't accidental. It's built on preparation, awareness, strategy, and patience. Blake's rise wasn't overnight. It was years in the making, a combination of skill, resilience, and timing. And it's a blueprint for anyone looking to turn early recognition into long-term influence. After Gossip Girl, Blake Lively understood one crucial fact: Hollywood moves fast and fame is fleeting. One hit TV show doesn't guarantee long-term success. She needed films that would prove she was more than just a teen star. She approached her next steps like a chess player, thinking several moves ahead. Her first significant post-TV film role came with The Sisterhood of the Travelling Pants. On the surface, it was a feel-good, teen-oriented story. But for Blake, it was an opportunity to demonstrate charm, relatability, and natural emotional depth. She didn't just show up. She studied the script, analysed her character, and considered how each scene could enhance her skills. Audiences responded immediately. Critics noticed her ability to bring authenticity to youth-driven narratives. This wasn't accidental. It was part of her careful progression from TV fame to Hollywood credibility. Then came The Town, a crime drama starring Ben Affleck. This role was far removed from the glitz of Gossip Girl. Here, Blake had to navigate intense scenes, complex emotional arcs, and high pressure acting alongside established stars. She held her own. Critics praised her performance, noting her ability to convey vulnerability and strength simultaneously. For Blake, it was proof that versatility matters. She wasn't just a pretty face on a red carpet. She was an actress capable of handling weighty, dramatic material. Blake's choices during this period reveal a deep understanding of Hollywood's game. She didn't say yes to every script. She considered co-stars, directors, storylines, and long-term career impact. Each role was a strategic step, designed to expand her range and reputation. Even films that seemed glamorous or commercial, like Green Lantern, were opportunities to grow visibility and showcase resilience. While the movie received mixed reviews, Blake's performance was consistently praised, proving her skill transcended the projects she chose. Awards and nominations began to accumulate. Teen Choice Awards reflected her popularity among younger audiences, while magazines like Elle highlighted her influence in fashion. Each recognition, whether a win or just a nomination, was a brick in the foundation of her career. She didn't chase accolades. She let her work speak. But the recognition reinforced her credibility and visibility in the industry. Blake's public appearances became more than just photo opportunities. They were strategic moves. Red carpets, premieres, and media events allowed her to define her image. She didn't follow trends, she set them. Every outfit, hairstyle, and accessory was carefully chosen. Fans and media alike admired her elegance, poise, and individuality. In a world where young stars often succumb to peer pressure or fleeting trends, Blake carved her unique style and brand. Behind the scenes, Blake remained grounded. Co-stars describe her as professional, punctual, and highly observant. She paid attention to the nuances of filmmaking, camera angles, lighting, co-star interactions. She absorbed lessons quietly, learning how the industry works while maintaining authenticity. Directors often trusted her instincts, and her ability to combine talent with strategy made her a rare presence in Hollywood. Blake also understood the power of managing public perception. She cultivated a thoughtful social media presence before it was the standard for celebrities. Not desperate, Not overexposed, but just enough to maintain relevance. Fans felt connected, yet her careful privacy ensured curiosity remained. She used attention strategically, never letting gossip define her. Rumours about relationships or lifestyle never distracted her from her priorities: acting, learning and building her brand. Each project during this period was part of a bigger picture. Films like Savages and The Age of Adeline showcased her range. Action, romance, drama, period pieces. Blake wasn't rushing. Through this venture, Blake demonstrates that she thinks about long-term success the way seasoned entrepreneurs do, rather than simply relying on fame as a currency. Her philanthropy is another cornerstone of Blake's identity. She supports a wide range of causes, from environmental initiatives to children's charities. But unlike some celebrities who treat philanthropy as a headline, Blake approaches it with quiet purpose. She uses her platform to raise awareness effectively, often choosing actions over public announcements. This careful, understated approach makes her advocacy more authentic and impactful. Fans and observers alike admire that she is willing to contribute without seeking the spotlight for herself. Blake's personal life reflects the same strategic thoughtfulness. Her marriage to Ryan Reynolds is one of Hollywood's most admired partnerships. Together, they balance humour, charm, and groundedness, presenting an image that feels genuine and relatable. Despite intense media attention, Blake protects her family's privacy, particularly for their children, while still engaging with fans enough to maintain curiosity and interest. This balance demonstrates maturity and emotional intelligence, qualities not every celebrity manages to develop under the pressures of fame. Beyond family, Blake invests in her own well-being. She has spoken openly about the importance of self-care and mental health, modelling practices that help her maintain balance in a chaotic industry. She understands that personal resilience underpins professional success. Her hobbies, cooking, gardening, reading and travel, aren't just leisure activities. They are intentional anchors that keep her grounded and provide creative and emotional rejuvenation. Fans often see glimpses of these moments through her social media, giving a sense of connection while respecting boundaries. Her social media strategy is particularly noteworthy. Blake shares behind-the-scenes moments, family snapshots, and fashion highlights, carefully balancing visibility with privacy. She doesn't overexpose herself or chase virality, but her content feels authentic. This deliberate management cultivates trust, engagement, and curiosity among fans. In a digital age where attention is fleeting, Blake's approach ensures she remains relevant without compromising her personal life or values. Blake also understands the importance of mentorship and learning. She observes the industry, noting both the triumphs and missteps of peers. She has often spoken about the challenges women face in Hollywood: pay gaps, typecasting, and limited opportunities. Rather than only discussing these issues publicly, she aligns her choices with her values, opting for roles and projects that reflect her principles. This authenticity resonates with audiences, enhancing both her credibility and influence. Even when facing criticism or controversy, Blake's approach remains consistent. Focus on what she can control, maintain composure, and let actions speak louder than words. Gossip or tabloid speculation doesn't distract her. Instead, she channels energy into her work, her family, and her ventures. She understands that responding to every rumour gives it power. This mindset, strategic, calm, observant, is a recurring theme throughout her career. Her fashion, business, philanthropy, and personal life all intersect to create a holistic brand. Blake isn't just surviving Hollywood, she's shaping it. Every choice is intentional, from the roles she selects to the outfits she wears, the causes she supports, and the content she shares. She demonstrates that influence is about more than visibility. It's about authenticity, consistency, and foresight. This multi-dimensional approach also extends to her career evolution. Blake continues to select roles that challenge her and expand her range. Whether acting in films that push boundaries or managing ventures that reflect her personal vision, she demonstrates constant growth. Her story is a testament to the idea that true success in Hollywood requires more than talent. It requires strategy, patience, and the ability to cultivate influence both on and off screen. In essence, Blake Lively is a blueprint for modern celebrity success. She combines skill, intelligence, and foresight, in a way that is both inspirational and aspirational. Her story teaches us that being thoughtful, intentional, and strategic can create influence that lasts, even in an industry as fleeting as Hollywood. Fans and industry insiders alike see a woman who is not only talented and stylish, but also grounded, principled, and forward-thinking. Through her fashion, business ventures, philanthropic work, and personal choices, Blake has built a multi-layered identity. She is a role model not just for aspiring actors, but for anyone aiming to craft a life of intentional success. Her journey shows that being deliberate, whether in career, family, or personal development, pays off in ways that talent alone cannot achieve. Blake Lively's story reminds us that Hollywood is not just about the spotlight. It's about vision, strategy, balance, and patience. She demonstrates that it's possible to remain authentic while cultivating a brand, influence, and career that endure. For those watching, Blake's life offers lessons in resilience, thoughtfulness, and the power of deliberate choices, proof that slow, smart, and steady really can win the race. By now, Blake Lively's journey shows that success isn't accidental. From the start, she approached Hollywood strategically, combining patience, observation, and deliberate choices. Every role, every public appearance, and even her fashion and social media presence have been carefully considered. She didn't chase instant fame. She built a strong foundation that allowed her to navigate rejection, typecasting, and criticism with resilience. Patience has been one of her greatest tools. Rather than rushing into every opportunity, she waited for roles that aligned with her instincts, understanding that timing is as important as talent. Rejection didn't discourage her, it fueled her growth. Each choice was a step toward a long-term career, not just short-term visibility. Strategy and self-awareness define Blake's story. She knows her strengths, her style, and her values, using them to create a brand that's authentic yet influential. Her transition from TV to Hollywood films, her business ventures, and her philanthropy all reflect careful planning. She balances ambition with groundedness, protecting her family life and mental health while growing her career. Blake's journey is also a blueprint for others. Learn your craft, observe, plan, act deliberately, and stay true to yourself. Fame isn't just about recognition. It's about building a legacy through thoughtful, consistent actions. She shows that success comes from combining talent, patience, strategy, and authenticity. Blake Lively didn't just rise in Hollywood, she designed her rise. Her story proves that real success is intentional, resilient, and lasting, inspiring anyone willing to follow a path guided by vision and wisdom.